going into our winners finals match of today's tournament. God, I hate dealing with neighbors. Alright, first off, for Legio Lepidoptera Leviathan, we have the Bamboozle Moth, Judgment, Lumberjack, Dual Artemis on the front, paired with Heavy Carronade. Their ally, GFA Flying Flounder, Mercury Dual Artemis Mobula, Light Flak, and Gatling. Their opponents, FCD, we have the Fancy Unicorn, Mercury Apollo Laser, paired with the Banshee, Light Flare Gun, and Gatling. And their ally, the Amplifier, Minotaur Artemis, Gatling, and Light Flak. Spire just charging straight across the map into their target. I don't think this is the way you want to be playing a Spire here. Goodbye, Spire. Now, Fancy Unicorn has moved in. They're getting some good armor damage with their Mercury Apollo. Let me take another look here at this loadout. They only have the only gun they have for explosive damage is the one Banshee. So Fancy Unicorn going to have high piercing capabilities but low follow-up damage, which I think is going to be a pretty big problem for them, given that Judgment is a tanky ship. If you're relying on the Banshee to get kills, it's going to be a lot of Banshee shots that have to add up to take them down. And Fancy Unicorn here losing their armor, already big damage coming in. Managed to rebuild their whole armor at about 10% health. Balloon is low. Balloon is going down. And Amplifier he's gone. He's flying away. Second point on somehow Amplifier's being spotted there. I'm not quite sure. He's Amplifier. Sputnik is off to pursue a new life of moisture farming. He's done with this Guns of Icarus business. No more tournaments for him. FCD, I think, maybe going to be trying to go for a two-pronged long-range attack here with Amplifier coming in from the southwest of Red Team's positioning, but unfortunately Red Team already moving to take control of the Leviathan. So that plan not going to work. Amplifier going to need to disengage, join their ally. And come up with a new strategy. FCD not content with just winning with standard builds, it seems. You know, you play enough matches of the same game against the same opponents. You gotta figure out ways to keep things fresh, keep things moist. No, not keep things moist. Don't do that. Can't stream that. So both teams just kind of rotating around a Leviathan. Haven't had any spots for a little bit, so positions not exactly known. Although I suspect the Amplifier at some point maybe got a hint that Red Team was moving west, which is what caused them to kind of shuffle around with the Unicorn. And this is going to be a tough battle. Like any fight that Fancy Cloud Dancers want to win here is going to have to be very quick. They're going to have to get very fast kills because Red Team, let's see, between these two ships, Red Team has 4 Artemis, and I think Blue Team has, I want to say 0. Let's see, Spire has 1. So disable capability heavily in Legio Lepidoptera Leviathan's favor. So any fight that lasts longer than, let's say, 1 volley, I feel like is going to fall out of FCD's hands pretty quickly. And now blue team has flying away from the Leviathan. Maybe wants to take up the ribs as defensive formation, or maybe just don't know where their opponents are they are splitting up to investigate the forest, see if they can find out where the body is hidden. And as it turns out, body hidden in their own spawn, opposite side of the map. Also, you know, I was under the impression that Dunes was removed from the SCS map pool. Maybe I'm mistaken in thinking that, because I thought we had a vote at one point where several maps were removed from the tournament, and Dunes was one of them. And looks like Legio, Lepidoptera, Leviathan are... Let's zoom over there. Seems like they might be content here to sit on their lead. They've been holding this position by in the northwest part of the map, holding this position by the engine block as their piece of terrain. They're waiting for blue team to mess up and reveal their location, to fly out in the open without one of these sand clouds blocking the view. Because once they get spots, then they can start to close the vice, close the noose on their opponents. But the one thing they don't want to happen, the one way they could definitely throw away this match is if they get ambushed. And so, Legio, Lepidoptera, Leviathan playing this very safely. And it's possible, I think they might be out of... See, there's a clear shot there. I was trying to figure out if they're within render distance. We did see a spot go down on the red judgment, and now shots coming out. So, location of the two teams is known. We're gonna get some old school, long range Dunes duels going on here. At least for about 3 seconds, and then I guess the clouds roll in and spots go away. Now, blue team very slowly pushing towards center map. Amplifier has split off. Seems like going for the Leviathan. Seems like the Fancy Unicorn is going to be trying to keep their opponent's focus as the Amplifier goes to try to hit them from at least a slightly different angle. Seems like they aren't going to go all the way around the Leviathan. Just split off slightly from their ally Mobula. Also important to note, Amplifier is bringing a Minotaur, so neither blue ship has a Lumberjack, so balloons on the red team not going to be super distressed. There is the Apollo lens array on the Fancy Unicorn, which does do fire damage, but it's not very much fire damage, so red team not too worried about that. But you see the laser engaging on the Flying Flounder, slowly picking away at the Mobula's armor and balloon. Now, Bamboozle Moth turning their focus to the Blue Spire, and we're getting some dual focus here. Armor is down, balloon down on the Amplifier as well. Half health, they're just getting picked apart. Look at that. Just Legio, Lepidoptera, Leviathan is just dominating in these medium to long range fights. And also a totally different style from what we saw last game. Triple L beat Skyboard Rangers using the Squid Stormbreaker team composition. Very fast ships, a lot of close range aggressive play, and now the immediate subsequent game switching gears into a more sniper style defensive play and still defeating their opponents. So this could be like Legio Lepidoptera's tournament. This could be their point to finally break out. We've seen some second place finishes, but at least on my watch, they have not taken SCS just yet. Now, Fancy Unicorn's just getting slowly picked away by the Bamboozle Moth. Bamboozle Moth does have the heavy carronade here, so even in a close range fight, they're going to be able to keep the Mobula locked down, assuming they can get a second shot out, and they do. Mobula's balloon is down. Amplifier in the background going for the Flying Flounder. Now, Mobula does go down. I think Amplifier... Let's see if Amplifier is able to deal with the Flying Flounder here. Flounder is totally disabled. All the guns and the engines are down. Armor's down as well. Boom. Artemis and the Unarmed Light Flax coming out from the Spire, able to put 1 point on the board for FCD. But I don't know if they're going to be able to win this 1v1 with the Bamboozle Moth. This is a tough ask. Because, yeah, Lumberjack, they try to move into Lumberjack arcs, but the Bamboozle Moth still has that heavy carronade. I think they're trying to focus that down with the Gatling. Does not work. Bamboozle Moth, 5th point on the board, and Legio Lepidoptera Leviathan, after knocking both Skyborn Rangers and Fancy Cloud Dancers into the loser's bracket, are our first grand finalist here, as we switch to the loser's bracket to find out who their opponent is going to be.